Hello and welcome everyone to Perseverance by Feline Capital. In today's episode, we are diving into the world of blockchain and fintech with a guest who's a seasoned veteran of this industry. I'm your host, Devika Bare, and today we are exploring Yoki Finance with the brain behind the idea itself, Konstantin Shirokov. Konstantin, welcome to Perseverance.
Hello, Devika, and I would like to thank you for an introduction. And I'm saying hello to everyone who listens to this podcast.
Awesome. So, Konstantin, the first question we ask anyone who comes on here is, how are you really doing today?
I had yoga in the morning, and a breakfast near the lake, so I have pretty good mood, and I'm ready for the productive conversation today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because usually when we speak to entrepreneurs, they're always stressed out about something. Like there are lots of things going on and they always have that face. So it's good that for a change, we have somebody who's bright and ready for the day.
Yeah. I used to, get up already tired and go to bed tired because of all the things that are happening, and I work on two projects simultaneously. So yeah, I decided this morning that I would like to have a little bit time for myself, and yeah, I dedicated that and enjoyed the nature and enjoyed the having breakfast near the with a great picturesque view. So yeah, today I'm more fresh than usually.
That's awesome. That's good to know. So the first question, Konstantin, that I came up when I was looking at, and by the way, is it Yoki? It's Yoki Finance, right?
Yoki Finance, right?
So why pick Bangkok as sort of or like Thailand as the prime location for your company? Is there a specific reason?
Actually, the company is quite decentralized. All the people are in different locations. So I cannot say that Bangkok is a headquarter for the company. More like the company is really in the vein of Web3, like everyone is working remotely. And I'm myself based in Thailand because that's a great country with great people and weather. So I enjoy staying here a lot. So that is actually not a headquarter for the company, but a headquarter for myself.
I see. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So the next question I had was the idea for Yoki. So I know that it's sort of like an automated payment solution, right? And the idea is easy to understand when you compare it to the centralized world. But how did you bump into this idea? Where did you figure out that this is exactly this is the problem that you maybe want to solve?
Yeah, so we're building like a set of different tools, and the primary one that we are focusing right now is a subscription payment gateway. So the idea is that the subscription economy is a very huge trend in the world. Like we see the major products that are generating the higher revenue because they have a subscription economy. They can forecast what will be like the user behavior in the future rather than relying on a single purchases, single transactions. And it is a big case in traditional non-blockchain world. And in blockchain, the big thing is payments, crypto payments. The industry is growing, but the amount of the services that are offered, they are limited, and there is no ability to accept subscription. There were no ability to accept subscription payments previously in the space. So that is how naturally this idea comes. There's something in the traditional financial world which is very popular, and we see like in the blockchain, the payment industry is growing. So and there is a lack of that service being offered. So that is just natural thing to that sometime it will be offered. Previously, there were attempts to create such service to provide that, but the nature of blockchain payments is that you have to manually approve all the transactions that are happening. That is like the kind of push transaction. So you approving everything that is happening. So with the previous state of the blockchain, that technology was not really, not really working smoothly. And there are now updates in the Ethereum blockchain, and we are primarily based on EVM compatible chains, which are derived from Ethereum and worked on the Ethereum execution layer. which is called account abstraction, and some of the updates in that account abstraction set of updates on Ethereum, they allow automated payments and full transaction where the funds are being requested by a third party, which the wallet has authorized to pay for. So with that update, the technology became possible, and we are on the forefront of bringing that to the world. Also, my vision was really strengthened when I discovered that Visa made a research about subscription payments in blockchain, and they considered that to be a really big thing in the future. So they betting on that a lot. And they even proposed their own framework of how it could work. We have another vision in that case, but generally the fact that the major payment system, one of the two biggest payment, or one of the three biggest payment systems in the world, they consider something that we build valuable, and they see future in that. It really reassures that that's something meaningful that we are doing.
Okay.
If that answers the question.
Oh, no. Awesome. That's pretty cool. So is it safe to say that you were in the industry and sort of, you sort of figured out the ins and outs of the industry, and then you saw this interesting opportunity, and then you ran with it, and then you validated the idea with additional research, correct?
Yeah, so I like if I dig more into the roots of how this idea came from. We were working with my colleagues on one of the crypto wallets on the product. It was called Broex, and with all the management there, we were investing in different products ourselves in different crypto assets. And that was a time during the crypto summer and DeFi summer. So every week we get along and see how our portfolio was growing. So the best, it was a consensus among us that the best way of investing and into crypto was using the dollar cost averaging. So we put some parts of the salary and some parts of our funds, divided into the similar parts, and purchase certain tokens according to the schedule. So it was some kind of automated process, but we were doing that manually, and it was very painful because every time you make new purchase, you make a decision of whether you want to continue or not. Sometimes the volatility is extreme, so if it's going too high, you think that maybe it will grow more, so you consider like I want to invest more, and you get your strategy, you get your discipline all ruined. So I was thinking during that time about creating the automated DCA product, and the next year Binance came with a DCA. So inside, and it became a really popular product with more than 5 million users according to their reports. And all the major crypto exchanges, they also added the DCA service to their offerings. And my first initial idea was to launch the decentralized version of that service, so it will not be relied. I would like to highlight a little bit the difference between centralized and decentralized products here. So the centralized one, they are very similar to interacting with a bank or with a neobank, with the payment system. So the custody of your funds are being transferred to the third party, to that organization. And in case of crypto, it's the private key, the seed phrase that have been transferred to that organization. And with decentralized product, you are connecting your operating using your own wallet, which is self-custody, and where you have your private key or the data that allows you to access your funds or the content that you have on your wallet, the NFTs or whatever. Only for you. So you're interacting with a product that doesn't have that access to your private key. And even the name of Yoki Finance, Yoki is derived from Yoki, and the phrase is that there is a catchphrase in crypto: not your keys, not your crypto, meaning that if you transfer the control of your keys to a third party, that third party, it really owns the funds and have an opportunity to size it or, you know, froze it, and in some cases. So Yoki stands for Yoki and your crypto. So that is like our vision of building products with self-custody in the space. So yeah, I initially came with a vision of creating the DCA product in the decentralized space, but and we have launched such a product. But the business model for that, we have seen a much more opportunity in the space of, you know, business to business model, rather than you know, with a small team launching the retail product without a huge backing. It's really not something that, you know, works in the current environment.
Yeah. Wow, that's very cool. I have so many questions for you from different aspects, the marketing angle of it, the B2B angle of it. But I agree. I mean, I think even in the centralized space, B2B models are much more manageable and easier to work with than sort of B2C. But the next question I have for you is, from your experience in sort of DeFi so far, right? Can I say that every transaction system, or the way transactions are being done in the centralized universe, can be replicated one-to-one in the decentralized world?
That's really complicated question. I don't think I have an answer to that, if it's possible to replicate any transactions, you know, or replicate any businesses, like with adding the decentralized in the front of the name for it. But we can see already that there are a lot of different business model that could be, and there are already, you know, emerging in the space, in the decentralized space. And these are the financial products for sure. It's lending protocols. That's a different kind of, you know, trading facilities, margin trading, etc., etc., all connected to payments and trading, which is, you know, the original purpose of the blockchain. But we also can see that you know, social networks with some decentralized elements are emerging as well. We can see that the decentralized infrastructure is emerging and possibly will be a really big thing. The next thing, the, you know, file storage, computation, servers, even the Wi-Fi, even the whole connection to the internet is being decentralized, and there are protocols like Helium which are doing that. So I believe that probably not everything could be transferred, and moreover, maybe there is no necessity to transfer anything to the decentralized world. But definitely there are advantages of, you know, removing the middleman for a lot of different industries, and we can already see this happening, and the emergence of these you know, subcategories in the Web3, in the crypto space.
Very cool. Okay, that's very interesting. And how would you sort of, because a lot of my audience is sort of a fan of the more centralized and more mainstream audience. So if I were to ask you to explain Yoki Finance to somebody who is a layman, right? They don't understand DeFi or whatever. How would you explain it to them? What does Yoki do?
The most straightforward explanation is that we allow to accept and pay for subscription payments with your crypto wallet. So and actually the process on the user perspective of that is very similar to the interaction with your bank card. So with your bank card, what you do, you go into the checkout process, you fill out the details, or maybe you connect in your Apple wallet with that. And with crypto wallet, it is the same. You connect your crypto wallet, you are confirming the transactions. Currently, the difference is that in the centralized space with your bank card or with your Apple wallet or other, you know, payment methods, I think you need like a single, you know, confirmation. It's rather the SMS or the notification in your application. And with crypto, it is 2 or 3 sometimes transaction that you have to approve. and the first transaction automatically transfer the funds for the first period that you subscribe to, and later that the whole process of funds transferring is automated when the next subscription period comes. So it is very similar, and I believe it's one of the few cases actually when the user experience even could be better in crypto, because with if you're subscribing with your bank card, there is no single entry, no single place where you can manage all the subscriptions that you have. You have to go manually to all the to all the merchants that you are subscribing to if you want to manage that, and you don't see the next payments come in. But at least I don't know, maybe there are some banks that provide that, but that's generally not the the common thing. And with crypto, the process of managing the subscription is very straightforward. You can see in your wallet or in the Explorer, the application, to see all the transactions on the blockchain, or you can see it on Yoki Finance. If you come to the page, you can see all the subscriptions that you have, and you can manage them and cancel them in a single place. So I believe that is one of the few, in terms of the user experience, the space, it's still far from being straightforward for the people outside of the industry, because there are so many different concepts, like gas token, that is really not something natural for the people entering the space. And you have to have your gas token in order to interact with something. That there are different chains, and there are so many of them currently, and some products, they're supporting this number of chains, and other products another one. And in order to pay, in order to transfer the funds from one chain to another, you need to use like a bridge. So there are still a lot of concepts that are really hard to comprehend for the people outside of the industry. But we are seeing a huge shift into making it easier with account abstraction, as I have mentioned. For example, with Yoki Finance, you do not have to pay gas fees for the future transaction. We just cover we are covering them, and probably we will make the version in the future that will eliminate that concept at all. So you will be able to to confirm the transaction, and you don't have to pay any gas fees. You don't have to have it in your wallet. So we're trying to make the life easier for the end user. And there are as I have mentioned, the fact that it's possible to manage all the subscription that are available in a single place, it is just a really better experience for the end user, in my understanding.
Okay, yeah. Because I mean, I was working with a Web3 company in the past, so like I do understand a bit of cross-chain and all of those things. But the biggest struggle in my experience was, do we want to on-ramp sort of centralized users as well, or do we want to keep it 100% decentralized? But so let's move a little bit into the industry, right? Because you've seen, you've done marketing for a lot of these companies. I think presently as well, you are still a marketing director with Fringe. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. So with all of your exposure, can you tell me, what are you excited about for this industry in the near future? I don't want to put a year to it, but maybe like 2, 5, 6 years.
First, we all can see like the institutional interest in crypto, with Bitcoin ETF being accepted. So generally the interest is the industry is really exceptional in comparison with others, in that the amount of interest from the general public varies from the from the Bitcoin price and the whole capitalization and the cycle of the market. So when it is like so-called bear cycle, when the market is down, the retail interest is really low, the investor interest is really low. And that is very specific, because I don't know any other industries which are so which interests are changing in the so strong manner with the market cycle. But we are entering the bullish cycle currently, and the trend has reversed already, and we see so many interest from the retail public, especially with the things happening in the industry right now with the airdrops. So I don't believe that it will be like a long-term trend, because you know, I would like to clarify what is an airdrop for the people who don't understand that. So that it's when projects, they are launching their token, they are providing they are distributing that token to the community in order to create their community. So in order to create the interest for their protocol, and sometimes it could be really big sums that are distributed. For example, one of the projects, I will not name it, they have a pool of 700 million, which they are distributed as the airdrop for their users, and there will be more than 1 million wallets that will receive and have already received parts of that airdrop. So yeah, so that is something that is really driving the attention of people, like free money. But I don't think that's something sustainable in the near future. So we will, as for my expectation in the future, I will see the reverse of that trend in the long term, because that's not sustainable. And the more projects, you know, they are distributing, the harder is to, you know, to move away from that path of the incentivized usage of the protocol. Also, there are so many, you know, chains are coming, and, you know, different L2s, the layer 2s on Ethereum, and it is also not sustainable in the long run, because, you know, there is almost no difference between these chains, and they're using the very similar concepts to get onboarded into the market. And I believe there will be like a lot of the chains that will go extinct in the near future, will not survive, you know, that competition. And probably for some of them that is not even the case. They just want to, you know, to have investor money, and that is enough for them. There is also a trend of the private chains, so app specific chains. So application rather huge, they could create their own blockchains, all based on the already available blockchains, and have the consent. I believe it's what really, you know, hard things to grasp for the people not into Web3, but there are in the blockchains, there is an execution layer, there is a consensus layer. So there's, you know, app specific blockchains, they're having only some parts relied on the already existing blockchains, and they have their own, which are interested, and which are specific for their application, building only for it. We can already see these trends. This trend is being rolling, and I believe it will continue. We will see the emergence of the new industries within the space, as I have mentioned. For example, you know, the social network, decentralized social network that are raising at the moment, and with decentralized infrastructure, I believe there will be a lot of more players, and they will be much more visible, even if we compare the market size of that they are trying to emerge, and not emerge, that they're trying to disrupt. And if we compare it with their current market cap, it's just like it's just incomparable now. So I expect these sub industries to emerge and grow in like 2, 3, 5 years time frame. And if we take not only like a Web3 component of that, Bitcoin is going more mainstream. It is accepted as ETF in the United States. It is accepted as a, you know, legal payment method in El Salvador. So I believe this process will continue as well, and there will be a competition between the central banks and between the, you know, huge corporations who own more. So this will create the big demand for that.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, at least from the first part that you mentioned, the idea of airdrops, it's like giving out freebies. And I feel like a lot of people's touch point with this industry, with the DeFi space, is the idea of getting these airdrops, right? And so I think
Yeah.
that only pulls a certain type of audience, and that audience predominantly drops out, right? Because even in the centralized universe, giving out too many freebies is generally not a good idea for sustainable users. But just wanted to, I want to touch a little bit on the institutionalization piece. But before we go there, I feel like we should just switch gears a little bit and talk about your career for a bit, right? You've basically done a whole bunch of things, right? You've been doing products, you've been doing marketing, now you're a co-founder. And there's this idea of linear career trajectories that's sort of changing now, where people are sort of moving from one avenue to the other, from one industry to the other. And this wasn't the case maybe 10, 20 years back, right? You had to like stick to something, and for 20 years you do that, right? So I just want to hear your opinions, especially because I meet a lot of youngsters every day, and they're so afraid of, if I pick this degree and if I pick this, I will never be able to escape it, right? So what are your thoughts on just, moving around freely, and how do you get these kind of opportunities? What's your mindset like?
Very interesting question. I believe I had like an entrepreneurial mindset right from the beginning, because I was not only, working for the companies, but I tried to set up a lot of different, enterprises, and they are very diverse. It comes from, I was, producing furniture. I was an official, reseller of the, some major sport companies in Russia. I was leasing the VIX, so it like very different things. And I had a startup before, not in the Web3 space, in the advertisement tech space, and we were the first one to provide the promotion inside of the search engine suggestions, and that technology was later incorporated by the biggest Russian search engine, Yandex. So I tried a lot of different things besides, so I always have this kind of, oh, this idea, I would like to try it. I think there is an opportunity there, and I use this, mindset in crypto as well, because the space offers so many different opportunities. Like there are very low hanging fruits that you can take uh, the the ideas of projects that are working on, one chain, and what you can do is like create it, replicate it, absolutely, copy paste it on other chain, and it will work, and you will get traction, and you can have like some level of success with that. So that is, there are so many opportunities there. And also, answering about the part, inside of the space, the whole DeFi space and Web3 space, it's very composable. So if you'd like one component of certain product and another component of another product, you could just, create some mix of that, and you could use already available, Lego parts and create something new. Even if you are not a developer, even if you don't have, the team at the moment, if you do not have a capital. For example, when I started Yoki Finance, I didn't have a capital. I was working like a regular job. I didn't have a team. I just have the idea. No backings, no funds. So what I did, I, find, with that fire and flame of the desire to create that product, I found people who are thinking the same. So there, I made mistakes with that. So first two, my partners, they it wasn't a successful partnership for some reason. So only with a, third partner, we we started to understand each other, and making the product, and following the trajectory that I like the product to follow. But generally, my advice is, having the idea and having the desire is enough. You will find people with money. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of money in the world, and people are looking for the ways to invest, and venture capital is one of the best opportunities in terms of the investments. It provides the best return on that. So the money are there. The people who want to work and to join you, they are there. So it only takes the desire from you, and it is possible to build anything.
That's very cool. That's very cool because, even though you're in a different country, I can feel the passion and I can feel the drive and the crazy genius of, your passion for the industry and what you do, right? But if I were to try to make this into like a book, right? What really drives you? And if somebody does not have that mindset, can you implement that mindset? And then if you can, how do you do that?
Uh, I don't know. Actually, I cannot get in the head
Yeah.
of other people. I can
Yeah.
only answer for myself.
Yeah.
And it's really, I cannot even say what is driving me. I'm interested in, not in the in the money, because if I would be interested in that, I could go with a more straightforward path, as I have mentioned, of like just copy pasting the already existing product and porting it to other chains. So that is available. That is a more easy path. But I want to bring, really, to build something useful. I want, maybe to have some legacy, if it's possible to say, as the creator of something useful in the space, that are making life easier for people, that are making the interaction, more financially effective, that are removing the unnecessary parts in that, and the product that we are building, it removes the middleman. So it is more like a protocol rather than a company. So there will be no need to interact with someone from our team, and it will always be, in our vision, it will always be available, so anyone could interact. And I believe that's great, that it's possible to create, such a permissionless products that are available and that will live longer than we live on the planet.
Okay. Okay. And just the last touch point, this is one thing I have seen live, is that finding good partners is so important. It's like the spine of the company, and a lot of, actually, more partnerships dissolve over time than actually succeed. So, I mean, with your journey, what have you learned that you should sort of keep in mind when you're looking for people who have the same sort of idea as you, or they're inspired just like you are?
Mm, you really need to have high barriers, high thresholds when you are looking for the partner. The mistakes I made, I was so so eager to start that, so I didn't really make the process of interviews, very deep understanding, that we have a common desires with the first partners that I had. So you need to really understand that you want the same thing, because it really starts to fall out with the first successes. You understand that someone want to have a quick money, and someone want to build like the product that will be for the long term, and the different aspects you need to understand, that you go along with really good with your partner. And also the aspect of personality, you have to go along with that on the personality level as well, because if it's not, even if you share the common goals, and if the person is really good in his or her part of what should be done, you cannot go along with it, and that's not sustainable.
Okay, interesting. So let's go back to the institutional piece that you mentioned, right? Um, the attention that this industry is getting from your centralized or mainstream institutions, or let's say the Wall Streets of the world, according to you, is it more positive or negative? Because the way I see it, I'll tell you, right, based on what the news I've been reading, etc., it's sort of a lot of it involves a control mechanism, right? Where if something starts looking lucrative, the big G's or the big dogs of the industry will basically come and try to get control of it, or create something similar, but they have a larger user base and they're considered more safe and secure because of their brand. So the tendency of them driving away users to their platforms is going to be much higher. Plus, they can make the lives of smaller entrepreneurs harder by enforcing regulations, and there might be compliance issues. So how do you see all of that sort of shaping up as an entrepreneur who really wants to make a mark in your own space?
I believe there will be like a watershed between different, in the inside of the decentralized space, there will be a watershed between compliant and non-compliant products, and the majority will be compliant, and the regulation is coming. It will be, more strict and strict and strict, and they will impose the same rules that the same level of, restrictions that exist in the traditional space to the crypto space. So, the majority of the protocols, they will be compliant with the laws that are going on. But also, like if there is a one power that is pressuring, there is another power that is trying to circumvent that pressure. And already there are a lot of the developers that are, using not using their real names, that are using pseudonyms in the space. Because after the case of Tornado Cash, there was very popular, very famous incident where the developers of the protocol that is making the transactions on Ethereum Anonymous, they are being sent to jail just for creating the protocol. We do not know the whole details yet, but it is making the life for the developers very, dangerous in that case. So after that case, a lot of, new protocols, they are starting with the teams which are completely pseudonymous. And also that, that create another layer that if you could participate in certain product in creating that and participating as a, community member or the decentralized organization member, using your pseudonym, it makes you really feel like more free in that how and what do you do, because you could like work for a bank in your daytime, and you could come and become like a DeFi pirate with all of that, with your pseudonym and your, ape on your on your picture, and something like that. And that was, I believe that, the brightest minds, they will come to the space where there is a few pressure. So while, every aspect, like the institutional attention, it could have like two parts for that. The first part is that money come into the industry, but restrictions and additional regulation is coming as well. But with, more funds coming to the industry and the brightest minds going on the side of, creating decentralized products, my vision is still, very positive for the space.
Okay. And so if somebody really wants to look into this space, right? I know a lot of people are interested, but they're always on the fence because they don't know how to step into this world. They don't know what sort of introductions they need to be making. They're so intimidated, right? So if somebody wants to say, hey, look, I'm interested in DeFi and I want to start exploring it, what according to you would be a good start, and how would you go about entering the space slowly?
I believe that the entrance process is easier by the day, and the major, starting points at the moment are centralized exchanges. And these centralized exchanges, they already have in their decentralized parts. For example, Coinbase, it has like Coinbase wallet, which could be a self-custody wallet. They have a base. They own Ethereum layer 2 chain. So the process going from the centralized major, exchange like Coinbase or Binance, from that to the decentralized space is easier by the day. In the Binance, there is a Web3 wallet inside of the Binance exchange. They're supporting plenty of DeFi opportunities, so people could easily start from using the centralized product, and step by step start using the decentralized, the Web3 products as well.
Okay, sounds good. And so for, let's say, right, hypothetical question now, let's say you were in Web3, but you didn't want to do something in, let's say, the finance ecosystem. What other industries do you think could benefit from decentralized finance? What other business idea, which industry would you dive into apart from finance?
I was very interested in the decentralized social networks, because with during the COVID times, there was a lot of pressure coming to the free speech. So all the opinions that were not fit in the mainstream, they was censored in all the major social network, and it was an orchestrated effort by them to censor the speech and to pressure the people who express opinion that are not fitting into the mainstream. And Web3 and crypto, it's possible to solve that and create a social network which is uncensorable by design, and where even if some institution tries to grab the power from that social network, it will not be possible to censor the content. So I was thinking about that, but currently I see that the pressure is not so tense after, for example, like the Elon acquisition of Twitter. There are more diverse opinion on that, so it's still not a free speech platform, and there are still some restrictions in that it's not following like the USA First Amendment. And I'm a huge believer in the First Amendment. I think everyone has the right to speak, and the majority of people, they could understand where the truth is and where it is not. And that is like the basis of the democracy, is that everyone is the majority of people, they're sane enough to understand what is good and what is not. So even if there are like some extreme opinions, the best opportunity to deal with it is to have an open discussion, and the people will not support the extreme opinions if they will have a ground to discuss that in a free manner. So I'm not a believer in censorship at all, and there is still the grounds for such a product, for decentralized social networks. And one of the pain points for them that they could address is censorship resistance.
Okay. So let's move a little bit into, again, the marketing angle, right? And I remember when I was first introduced to the Web3 space, I was doing something like marketing and networks, but it was a nightmare for me because, in your centralized world, you have data to work with, you have who's ordering from where, you can just download the Excel file, do your research, analyze the numbers where, for example, 40% of my orders are coming from Atlanta, so I'm going to target my ads there. But in the Web3 space, and because, you've got so much of a marketing exposure, how do you sort of go about doing your research, speaking to users, getting user data, targeting the right kind of customers, allocate your resources to marketing to the right kind of customers? Like, that's the space where I'm like absolutely clueless about.
Yeah, that's really interesting when you first trying to get onboarded to the space. And one of my friends, she's now entering the space, and she's asking for the advice of what is better to do in the product where she's working on.
Yeah.
And in the TradFi space, in the traditional advertisement, things are not changing so rapidly. You have your Google ads, you have your Facebook ads, and you can always rely on that. Maybe there are some slight changes in the interface, in different targetings, and all of that. But generally, if you have a business, you can set up your account, you can set up the ads there. More or less, it will be the process will be really similar. in that you can rely on that channel. In crypto, these channels, they are not available. The advertisement of crypto products, it is banned on the major advertisement platforms, and really, as you have mentioned previously, it was not possible to have the targetings for the user, especially for geographical, etc. But now there is also the emerging like a Web3 advertisement industry that helps you connect user wallets with their social network activity, and it provides an opportunity for very interesting collaborations, and to understand the intersection between your target audience and the other projects target audience. For example, if there is a project, for example, a lending platform that is integrating the certain assets on the platform, for example, like wrapped wrapped Ethereum is a bad example. For example, a certain token, like we can go to some new advertisement, Web3 advertisement platform, and we can see what holders of that token also holding. And we can see like, okay, the holders of that token, they're also holding this NFT collection, for example, or other tokens. And we can come to the community of that NFT, and we could, start some collaboration, and we will be sure that this NFT collection has huge intersection with the community that we are targeting. Mm-hmm. Also, it is like with the emergency of Web3 domain names, and the primary protocol is Ethereum name system. It allows to shorten your blockchain address. So generally, the Ethereum address looks like starts with 0x, and there are numbers and digits in there, but you can assign like the fancy 0x Devika to your wallet. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, while they are signing that name, they are also using that name in their social network communication, and it is possible to match the user activity on chain with their social network profiles, and you could target these users directly on the social networks using some advertisement, which is possible on Twitter, on X, or using the direct messaging, or find some other options for that. So there are tools, and there are specific tools in the Web3. A lot of the activities using some platforms like Zili or GLXE, where there are a certain amount of action that users should take in order to receive points or in order to receive rewards from the project. These platforms are also very popular, and they are quite specific to the crypto space. So they are native to the space, and some of them are tied to the on-chain activities as well.
Right. Okay, yeah, very cool. Because I remember because we went on this whole day's activity of we wanted to find who are the whales on this platform? What do they own, right? And like it was almost like a 2 to 3 day work, and 3 of us were working on it because we went to sort of different platforms where they own different NFTs. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot more work, I guess, in that space to be done for it to become much more streamlined. But for Yoki in this situation, what's next? Like, do you guys see yourself becoming a lending platform maybe, or, since you're already working with transactions, maybe do some sort of like a DeFi sort of savings account where users can earn interest, like a high yield interest or something like that? Or for now, this is only for subscription payments, and then things will evolve over time?
I think our path is quite unique, is that we are currently the subscription payment gateway. So we are providing the opportunity to accept and pay for the subscriptions. But it is, it's very natural. Next step for us is to create the infrastructure to provide the ability to create other, automated payment solution. And they could be a very different kind of such a solution. For example, to monetize the content, to monetize the communities, to have a loan repayments, to have like a salary, automated payments, to have a payments for decentralized organization. They could be like very, very different use cases. And we are obviously not having a small team. We're not able to build all the different cases ourselves, but we are able to, to open source and provide the infrastructure for the developers to build on top of what we have built already. And that is next step. And the further, like the third step for us in the product that in our product roadmap is that we want to launch the marketplace of all the subscription of all the services that are accepting subscription payments. So that is just natural. We have a database of our customers. We have a database of all the companies in the space that are accepting subscription payments. Why not, have that database publicly available for anyone to come and choose? If you want, for example, the donations, you can choose like between different entities that are soliciting donations. If you want to pay, if you want to have like the security tool, you choose the security category and see all the different companies in that. Or you want maybe to join your local community, and that is also the paid opportunity. You find your geographical point, you specify that you want a community, and you see everything that is available. So it's just a natural step for us to have a marketplace and a permissionless platform where anyone could come and create their own subscription and pay for the subscription that are available in the marketplace.
Yeah, I did go through the list that's available on your website of all the subscription platforms as well. So yeah, that would be cool. And so right now, what are your key KPIs? What are you looking to accomplish? Maybe in this year, this quarter, whatever.
Yeah, we have like the mainnet launch in coming weeks. So we are onboarding our first merchant to the mainnet. So it will be like launch all the products, and we would like to track that launch and see if everything goes smoothly to start onboarding other merchants that we already have in our pipeline. The next major KPI for us is the amount of merchants that we have that are onboarded and the turnover of the volume of the transactions that are going through Yoki. So these are two major KPIs for us. And in order to achieve the growth of both, we are starting the business development process currently. We're planning to start it right from the launch of the mainnet, where we'll connect with businesses and where we'll announce that we are integrating them into our marketplace. And we'll also want to maybe invite some of them to speak in the podcast that will be dedicated to the businesses with a subscription model, where we are interested how they retain customers, what is their retention rate, how do they define the pricing. So all things subscription related we'll also want to discuss, and we'll want to start the discussion with our potential customers and notable people in the space.
That's awesome. Okay, and then one final question before we head into the rapid fire is, what is a day in the life of Konstantin? Because I know you're doing multiple things. Can you tell me how you start your day and how you end your day?
I start my day by driving my daughter to school.
Okay.
I'm doing some 10 minutes exercise after that, having a breakfast, and then I have quite a strict daily routine process. I always have the task for a day. I have a calendar where every minute is dedicated to some task. I have a Pomodoro system where I have 25 minutes working and 5 minutes of having a rest, and the timer for a specific task. So I'm it is really hard to to maintain their attention in the digital age. So many things that can distract you. So I have all that, quite strict procedures that help me to get into the deep work, and that is something that really works for me. And I can see that my productivity has grown enormously after I have implemented that measures. And in the evening, I have also, the strict time where I switch off, when I turn off everything, and I'm generally going to some, physical activity, and I'm training in the boxing gym, and I'm going to dances sometimes, and if not, I'm going to swim in the pool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a very, very well balanced routine. I did try Pomodoro, though it didn't work for me as much because I like to give like 2-3 hours back to back, like a sprint almost, and then take a big break and then do another sprint. But I guess whatever works for you. So we will jump straight into the rapid fire now. It's just going to be a quick exchange of question and answers. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's start. What is Yoki?
Yoki is subscription payment gateway in Web3.
Okay, and who is Yoki for?
Yoki is for the software as a service businesses and their communities.
What does Yoki do that nobody else is doing right now?
We're helping accept subscription payments in Web3.
Okay.
And doing that in the permissionless manner.
Okay, and you've already covered this, but why the name Yoki?
Yoki stands for Yoki because it is self-custody, and our slogan is, Yoki, your crypto.
What is your biggest vision for Yoki?
I would like Yoki to become a unicorn.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, Konstantin. I really appreciate your time. And considering that you are very stickler about time, we've got 2 more minutes, so I think I'm going to respect that boundary. But no, I genuinely feel the energy and the drive and the passion, and all of your answers were so well thought of. And it really shows that you know the industry pretty much in and out, and that you don't like to stop learning, and you always try to keep up with what's happening. So it was a great chat. I myself learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of users will pick up a lot about the industry, and about your career change as well. So thank you so much, and I hope you've had a fun talk.
Thank you so much, Devika, for the invitation, and that's wonderful conversation. I want to thank everyone who listened until the end of that. And I'm pretty free, so feel free to send me messages on LinkedIn or Twitter if you have some questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Konstantin.
Thank you.